Before we get into the specifics of this example, let's talk about what a prism is. A prism is when you have two identical faces stretched apart like an accordion, and the volume of a prism is the area of one of those faces multiplied by the height, which is the distance to the opposite face. For instance, if we had this triangle right here and across a 3D space, we had another triangle that looks just like it. That fits the definition of what a prism is, because we have the two identical faces, which are this triangle and the opposite triangle from it on the other side. And then we have the height, which is the distance between the two triangles. So that is our capital B, and that is our H. One way to think about this is if we had a triangular piece of paper and we continued stacking triangular pieces of paper until we had this prism type of shape. That's the logic of the idea that the volume is the area of the base multiplied by the height, the distance to the other base. The other thing to notice here is that the base is not what it sits on, not necessarily. The bases are the identical faces. So sometimes a prism will be sitting on its face and sometimes it won't. Now, a cylinder fits the definition of a prism, although it's technically not considered a prism because it has rounded sides, and prisms have all flat faces in terms of their dictionary definition. But you should absolutely think of a cylinder as a prism because it's got the identical circles at the top and the bottom, and they're stretched apart, and that stretch is the height. So we can call that the capital B, the area of the base, and multiply that by the height. So in this situation, we know that the height of our cylinder is 10. So that is 10. We also know the base has an area of 75. So you can see how this question was designed to fit into the V equals BH formula. So the entire potential volume of this cylinder, I say potential because of this scenario they're giving us, is 750. Now it's not filled to its potential because it's filled up to, let's say, about here. And we're being told that the volume of this piece is 110. So what would the volume of this piece here need to be in order to make the whole volume 750? And that's easy. We can just subtract 750 minus 110, and we'll get 640. So what we just found out is that the volume of liquid, or the volume of fruit, let's say, in this cylinder is 640, and there needs to be 110 cubic centimeters of syrup to fill it all the way to the top. And that's why the answer here is C.